If you're over 65 and have knee pain, watch this.
The meniscus in your knee. It's this cartilage cushion that's right here, and it makes the difference between a healthy, painless knee joint and one that is bone on bone. And tragically, there are over 1.5 million knee surgeries that are performed every year in the United States. And hundreds of thousands of those surgical procedures are unnecessary and avoidable. So if you have knee pain, especially if it interferes with your quality of life, you really should watch the video I made. I reveal a 30-second fix that over 200,000 Americans are now using to grease their joints and relieve their pain. This is a surprising solution, and it is not hyaluronic acid or glucosamine, and it's certainly not about acupuncture or physical therapy. It's not like any of the mainstream or even the alternative solutions that you've heard about before, and it completely flies in the face of what the big profit pain relief industry wants you to believe. I want to read you a couple of notes that were sent to me recently. So Marilyn B, she said, "This saved me from pending knee replacement surgery, and I tell everyone I meet to save them from this trauma. So far, I personally know of over 30 people that have listened and loved this simple and extremely effective answer to ongoing nagging pain. I am totally pain-free," she said, "and loving life, plus back to ice skating at almost 88. And then Margie S, she sent me this. "This has me walking so much easier. My pain level has gone from a 9 to a very manageable 2. Thank you." So please put your phone on Do Not Disturb, turn off your TV if it's on, and pay close attention to this breaking news that can soon get you out of pain and back to doing the things you used to do, just like the good old days. Hello, my name is Dr. Joshua Levitt. I'm a board-certified naturopathic physician, and I own one of the most respected holistic medicine practices in New England. This is where I see patients and where I've taught as a clinical preceptor for the Yale School of Medicine. I have a degree in physiology from UCLA and a doctorate from Bastyr University, which is known as the most prestigious and respected naturopathic medical education in the world. My education and training has earned me the respect of many of the smartest and most experienced physicians in every specialty, and they regularly refer their most complex and challenging patients who come to my office when all else has failed. So for over 20 years, I've been observing patterns in people with joint pain. How they look, how they feel, how they move, what their x-rays and their MRIs look like, which is sometimes pretty surprising, how their joint pain starts, how their joint pain heals, why it sometimes doesn't, and what can be done to get rid of it permanently. It's kind of crazy to hear myself say it, but I now have decades of knowledge from studying both the published research and the science in medical journals and studying in the real world with real people, many of whom are just like you. Maybe you've been given a diagnosis for your condition, so it has a name. Maybe you've been given a referral for an imaging study or to another specialist. Maybe you've been given a prescription medication or an injection or an infusion to treat your symptoms. Maybe you've been given a date for surgery or even had a full-blown joint replacement. But I am guessing that there's one thing that you have never been given, and that's a full understanding of what is actually causing your pain. I mean, the true, real underlying cause of your pain that needs to be addressed in order for you to get out of pain and back to living your best life. And by the end of this presentation, you will understand why you hurt, you'll take back control of the true underlying causes of your pain, and you'll learn exactly how to use that control to end your pain for good. Now, my experience with people who have seen other doctors like orthopedists and rheumatologists who have tried everything has earned me national recognition for helping even the most challenging cases to finally get lasting pain relief. And it's also earned me a reputation as a pain exterminator because of the solution that I developed to kill the joint-destroying termite enzyme that I will be telling you about here today. I have seen countless patients in pain, and helping them get out of it has put me in a really unique position. Now, the problem is that I've also seen far too many people have their lives stolen from them despite following the traditional conventional advice that they get from their doctors. These are folks that feel trapped in a prison of pain, living their lives from one doctor's appointment to the next, losing their independence as they become more and more dependent on medication, haggling with insurance companies about co-payments and refills. That becomes their full-time job, and generally feeling like the big, bright world is just growing smaller and darker around them. It's a painful thing to watch, and it got to the point where I couldn't stand to see this happen anymore without taking action. I was watching my own patients enjoying incredible natural pain relief, but with a waiting list at the office that was getting longer and longer every day. And that was just the people that lived within driving distance of my office here in Connecticut. And I knew that there were millions and millions more just like them in big cities and in small towns all across America. And that is why I made it my life's mission to reach people beyond the four walls of my exam room and teach people about the real root cause of their joint pain so they could benefit from my natural solution and get the same results that I've been seeing with my patients. And I'm grateful to report that it worked. And this turned out to be the best decision of my professional life. This solution has helped over 202,000 men and women with miserable joint pain, just like you, to finally be able to live their lives how they are supposed to be lived. Traditional inside-the-box pain solutions just weren't that effective for the people who came to see me. These are folks whose lives had been reduced to a constant cycle of doctor's appointments, trying new medications with new side effects, and then treating those side effects with more medications and never really getting better. In fact, I would frequently review years worth of chart notes from a specialist and see a pattern of more pain and a steady worsening of quality of life with every office visit. This is devastating, and you might actually know the feeling. You get your hopes up to go visit an expert doctor or specialist. You're finally hoping that today is gonna be the day that you say goodbye to your horrible knee or hip or shoulder or back pain, and then you take their advice and you follow all the instructions that they give you. You leave feeling hopeful that this is something that is finally gonna work, only to find yourself back in their office a few months later and your pain has only gotten worse. And chronic pain, it changes people. As time goes on and you still suffer from that pain, you become a different person. I want to give you a real life example, and it's one that I will never forget. It's a patient of mine. I'm going to call him Robert. And you may even see yourself in the story that I'm going to tell you from his medical record. So when Robert first went to an orthopedist for his back pain, he was uncomfortable, but he wasn't really too concerned about it. He was a happy guy, and yes, this back pain and the pain that was shooting down his leg was getting him down, but he just figured his doctor would have a good solution for it. It was nothing crazy yet, but it was becoming more uncomfortable and was starting to get in the way of his normal living. So his doctor did an exam, ordered some x-rays, which didn't show very much, and told Robert that it was important that he stay active and walk more because inactivity can make his problem worse. He also prescribed a prescription anti-inflammatory and gave him a pain cream, and then he made a follow-up appointment for a couple of months later. So Robert came back for the follow-up, and this time he was in agony. He couldn't sit without extreme pain, and standing or walking wasn't much better. His doctor noted that his attitude had changed as well. He was angry, he was short-tempered, and he was clearly in distress. So this time the doctor ordered an MRI, prescribed a stronger medication, and referred him to physical therapy. Now, this back and forth went on for a year and a half until his orthopedist referred him to a neurosurgeon. And the idea of getting back surgery with plates and screws implanted into his spine understandably freaked him out. And that's when he started trying things like chiropractic and acupuncture, massage, and all sorts of crazy things that he described, things he bought at the health food store, but none of it worked. And he had had enough. And that's about the time that I met him. His wife had made the appointment for him because she knew another one of my patients who suggested that I might be able to help him. And at his first appointment, He laid it all on the line. At this point, Robert's life was not at all the same. The pain had taken over his life and made his life small and dark, and he was frustrated, he was angry, and he had lost all hope. He even cried as he told me how his pain was just ripping his family apart. His pain and his stiffness had spread beyond his back at that point into his hips, his knees, his shoulders. It had become so severe that he was either propped up in a bed or in his recliner almost all day and all night. His joints were literally being destroyed by the termite enzyme, and his body was collapsing as a result. Now, at this point, his only movement was when he was helped by his wife or by his son from his chair to the bed, or from the bed to the bathroom and then back again. And sometimes he wouldn't even go to the bathroom. He would use a portable urinal so he didn't even have to move. And that was quite literally his life. For a 54-year-old man who was an avid golfer and had always had that get up and go, this was a true tragedy. Now, this was a guy who dreamed of retiring and playing golf on the world's best courses. But now that dream was completely ripped away from him. At this point, he cried again when he told me that his wife felt more like a nurse than she felt like a partner or a lover. He told me he always envisioned having fun with his grandkids in his backyard when they visited him. Living in this kind of constant pain is no way to live. It just steals everything from you. Robert's own words, he said, "I feel like a withered old man just watching my life pass me by." This is what joint pain can do to people like Robert, and sometimes people like you. And it is especially frustrating because Robert had done virtually everything that the conventional experts had recommended to him. You see, while most doctors do have your best interest at heart, they have to follow a traditional protocol, which doesn't allow for any of that outside of the box thinking. And they certainly don't know anything about the termite enzyme, how it's eating away at your joints and how to reverse it, repair the damage that it's done, and get out of that pain. And that's exactly why people with joint pain across the country are consuming massive amounts of over-the-counter and prescription anti-inflammatories and pain medications. These drugs are well known to cause bleeding in the GI tract. They are toxic to the kidneys and the liver, and in many cases turn into a cycle of increasing doses and ultimately addiction. And none of this helps manage the true cause of the deterioration and the pain. Robert went through all of this, and I felt the power of his story and his tears right here in my gut and also in my heart. He was another victim of a broken healthcare system that puts profits over people, and it is a disgrace. I have seen thousands of people like Robert who followed all the conventional pain advice from the specialists, from the experts, but were still living lives of pain. Now, why is that? It's because those so-called solutions do not target the actual cause for your pain. Before physicians understood how this termite enzyme destroys cartilage and causes joint pain, I had already made this discovery in a strange and rather charming way. I was helping one of my daughters with a science fair project, and it was about how frog eggs hatch into tadpoles and how the tadpoles lose their tails and turn into frogs. Well, it turns out that when the tadpoles are ready, a family of enzymes that are called MMPs, which stands for matrix metalloproteinases, they start to chew away at the cartilage that's in the tadpole's tail, and within a few weeks, the tail is gone. So my daughter got an A+ on that science project, and I became fascinated by these cartilage-destroying MMP enzymes that are the exact same enzymes that destroy the cartilage that is in human joints, just like termites. Now, since these enzymes were first discovered by Dr. Jerry Gross at Harvard Medical School, these enzymes have been the subject of over 30,000 scientific papers about how these termites infest and destroy joints, and most importantly, how to exterminate them. You can tell if you're suffering from this termite attack with this simple test. Ask yourself these questions. 1, do one or more of your joints hurt? 2, is the pain increasing over time? 3, are you over the age of 50? And 4, do anti-inflammatory drugs give you just temporary relief? If you answered yes to 3 or 4 of those questions, then you are definitely suffering from this common termite syndrome. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to explain how you can safely and effectively kill the termites, repair the damage that they've done, and prevent them from ever swarming and eating away at your joints again. You no longer have to feel hopeless with the traditional system and watch your joints and your life just crumble in front of you. In just 20 seconds per day, you can reverse the damage and make your joints pain-free again, just like they used to be. Now remember, I have proven this with over 202,000 people who have used this solution already. And this is an approach that is supported by thousands of studies from world-renowned institutions. I have been able to finally turn what we know from the research into something that you can do to feel better, treating it at the root. You can think of it like this. If you have weeds in your garden, you need to remove them from the root of the plant. Of course, the weed whacker that cuts off the tops, it makes things look fine for a few days, but they will grow right back, often even bigger, stronger, and more deeply rooted than they were before. And the exact same thing is happening with your joint pain. But the not so obvious things, the things that you can't just see by looking, are damage that is caused by oxidation and free radicals, microscopic damage that's caused by small repetitive motions, and then age-related molecular changes to the DNA itself. And all of this results in the smoldering fire that you've heard of before. We call it inflammation. The fact is that those MMP enzymes, what I've been calling the termites, get made, literally manufactured by your own cells in response to inflammation. Inflammation is the switch that triggers the termites to swarm. And when that switch gets flipped, your own cells start manufacturing MMPs that flood into your bloodstream, course through your system, and start attacking and eating away at the cartilage in your spine, your knees, your elbows, your hips, your shoulders, your ankles, your wrists, and your feet and hands. Just like a swarm of termites, they emerge and they eat away at that cushion of connective tissue that acts as a shock absorber and prevents the painful friction between your bones. There have been hundreds of studies conducted at places like Harvard, Dartmouth, Johns Hopkins, UCLA, MIT, and even at the National Institutes of Health that have demonstrated the critical role that MMPs play in degenerating joints and bone-on-bone progression. So now, after all this talk about the MMP termite enzyme and the damage that it can do to your joints, it's time to shift gears and talk about the solution. You need to kill these destructive termites to stop the joint destruction as soon as possible, because the longer you leave it, the worse it gets. In that way, it's just like a real termite infestation. It's just not something that's going to resolve on its own. You have got to kill and remove the termites. And then you have to get to work repairing the damage that they did. And yes, your body can heal itself, and it can happen much faster than you might think. So my own deep dive into the research of MMP enzymes led me to the first step of this comprehensive joint pain solution. I discovered that a fragrant resin, it's sort of like a sap that comes from the bark of a sacred tree in South Asia, has been used for centuries to help people with joint pain. And ancient herbalists and healers, they knew that this worked, but they did not know how. But now, thanks to cutting edge science, we do now. And guess what? That fragrant resin, that sap, contains molecular compounds that kill the termites dead. Yes, this herbal medicine potently inhibits MMP enzymes and stops the destruction of the cartilage. The ancient herbalists were 100% right. Now, of course, this discovery has been completely blacked out by mainstream media and the profit-driven pharmaceutical companies, because if people like you suffering with joint pain knew about it, big pharma companies have no interest in natural medicine. They only want drugs that they can patent and then profit from. I mean, can you really expect these huge pharmaceutical companies who profit from your pain to have your best interest at heart? When you get better using a safe or natural medicine, they lose your business. It's really as simple as that. Boswellia serrata is the name of the tree that this remarkable resin comes from. And it is no wonder that Big Pharma wants to keep it a secret, because all people in pain would be taking this herb and it would cost them a fortune in lost sales. And when you start taking it, you will feel the effects in as little as 1 to 5 days. Now, it's no wonder that this resin is directly mentioned in both the Old and the New Testament as a sacred herbal medicine. And it's mentioned frequently in many different ancient medical texts for its beneficial effects on joint pain. And modern science completely agrees. Multiple studies published in peer-reviewed journals demonstrate the potent activity that this resin exerts to exterminate these cartilage-destroying termite enzymes. Study results include reports significant reductions in knee pain, significant reductions in stiffness, significant increases in range of motion, improvement in walking distance, decreased use of medications, improvements in overall quality of life. And not only does Boswellia kill the termites and stop the MMP enzymes from destroying cartilage, it also initiates healing and strengthens the connective tissues inside your joints by activating your body's production of collagen to help fill those potholes, to patch the cracks and smooth out the cartilage surfaces that are inside your joints. It truly is something special, and it has been an absolute game changer when it comes to freeing my patients from pain, and it will be for you too. But as effective as Boswellia is on its own at exterminating the termites, it is not a complete solution for joint pain. Now think about this. If you had termite damage in your house, yes, you need to exterminate them. That is critical. But your work is not done until you, 1, repair the damage that they did, and 2, prevent them from emerging again and causing more damage down the road. As I explained earlier, the joint damage that's caused by the termite enzyme results in inflammation both in and around the joint, tension in the muscles that act on that joint, and fibrosis or scar tissue that accumulates in the soft tissue around the joint. And a complete solution needs to address every part of that process and keep it from ever happening again. And right now, I'd like to quickly take you through each ingredient in that secret sauce and exactly why it is part of this joint pain solution. So let's start with how you can block the trigger that sets off this destructive, degenerative process in the first place, and that is inflammation. Inflammation is like a fire that causes the termites to swarm, and the molecular fuel for that fire is a substance that's called NF-kappa B. Big pharma companies are scrambling to produce drugs that block NF-kappa B because they know it is the most powerful way to put out the fire of inflammation. But nature beat them to it. Over 4,000 studies have shown that a powerful natural substance can reduce inflammation by blocking the action of NF-kappa B. So what is this powerful natural substance? It is curcumin, the most bioactive compound that is found in turmeric. Now, I know you've probably heard about turmeric, but I promise that what I am about to tell you is completely different. You see, in a recent report, researchers found that the curcumin in turmeric root not only shuts down NF-kappa B, but it reduces all of the inflammation-promoting molecular targets for which the FDA currently has approved pharmaceuticals. In other words, curcumin hits every target in the chemical chain reactions that induce chronic inflammation. And when it's in your system, the termites cannot swarm. Here's the problem. Whole turmeric root contains only 2% curcumin by weight. And what that means is that you'd need to consume nearly 2 full tablespoons of turmeric powder every day to get a dose of curcumin that would reliably block NF-kappa B. But that actually isn't the only problem. Studies have shown that turmeric is extremely hard to absorb. And when you combine the low curcumin levels in whole turmeric root with the difficulty in absorbing it through the GI tract, you have a real problem. And that explains why so many of the turmeric products that are out there just don't live up to their promise. I can't tell you how many people have told me that they've tried turmeric and it just didn't work. And this explains why. They are taking a diluted curcumin and they're pooping most of it out. So it turns out that if you're on a mission to find the best quality, most clinically effective form of turmeric, all roads point to BCM95 curcumin. BCM95 is a concentrated 95% curcumin extract that's coupled with turmeric essential oil, and it makes it the most concentrated, best absorbed, and by far the most effective turmeric extract that's available. So BCM95 is the world's best curcumin extract, and it has been proven in over 50 clinical studies and has an over 15-year track record for both safety and effectiveness. Just take one look at the vast medical literature on curcumin, and it was clear that BCM95 was the only choice for my formula. I would not settle for anything less. So now what we've done is killed the termites with Boswellia, and we've blocked NF-kappa B and inflammation with BCM95 curcumin to prevent that inflammation and keep those termites from coming back. Now, the next step is another big issue that we need to address. Once your joints have been ravaged and degraded by termites, they are vulnerable to another destructive force. I'm talking about free radicals. Free radicals are like mold or rot that further degrades these already termite-ravaged joints. Now, technically speaking, free radicals are toxic byproducts that are produced from oxygen, and they damage cells and tissues, including the ones that are in your joints, in your muscles, and in your nerves. And there have been numerous studies that have been published in the last 10 years that suggest that free radicals are a contributor to chronic pain. And when they are left unchecked, those free radicals build up in the body, and they can further damage your already damaged or injured tissue. Now, normally, when free radicals are produced, our body has a defense mechanism, and it generates antioxidants to help quench those free radicals and keep them in check. But it's when free radical production exceeds or outpaces the body's natural defenses that problems begin to occur. And researchers have linked this excessive production of free radicals to a wide range of health problems, including chronic musculoskeletal or orthopedic pain. Now, the good news is that in my own quest to develop the perfect musculoskeletal pain formula, I found the perfect ingredient. When it comes to protecting joints, muscles, and nerves against the damaging effects of free radicals, there is nothing better than quercetin. Quercetin is found in high concentrations in wine and also in onions, and it's one of the most important and underutilized compounds in herbal medicine today. Quercetin is what's called a flavanol, which is a subcategory of a family of compounds that are called flavonoids. Flavonoids are phytonutrients. They're plant-based nutrients, and they have a wide range of health benefits, and one of the most important of which is lasting relief from musculoskeletal pain. Now, I have a feeling I'm the only person that you might know who has a list of favorite flavonoids, but I do, and with its powerful antioxidant effects and its ability to block the chemicals in that biochemical pain cascade, quercetin is at the top of my list, and it's the perfect addition to my formulation. If you have joint pain anywhere, I'm sure you know that the pain almost always has a sidekick, and that is muscle tension and stiffness. And in many cases, that stiffness and tension is even worse than the original pain itself. So a complete solution needs to address that too, because easing that tension is really an essential part of our termite damage restoration plan. And that brings me to an essential mineral that is found in the crust of our earth. I am talking about magnesium. Why magnesium? Well, because according to recent studies, 75% of Americans are not meeting their daily recommended intake of magnesium. Now, most of this is due to poor diet and the depletion of magnesium in the soil where our food is grown, because magnesium plays a critical role in muscle contraction. So when magnesium levels are low, muscles have a tendency to go into spasm. And in the presence of inflammation, those spasms can be even more intense and unrelenting. When you have enough of the right form of magnesium in your bloodstream, the tension melts away. Okay, so now we have killed the termites with Boswellia. We've blocked their return with BCM 95 curcumin. We've stopped free radicals with quercetin, and we have eased the muscle tension with magnesium. Now the next step is breaking up the scar tissue that restricts your range of motion. And to handle that, I use bromelain. Now, bromelain is a powerful anti-fibrotic enzyme that's found inside the juice and in the stem of the pineapple plant. And one of the things that makes bromelain so effective against pain is that not only is it extremely effective at breaking down unwanted scar tissue that often forms in joints and muscles and nerves, it also has potent pain relieving properties as well. In fact, there's been clinical studies that have shown that bromelain can work as well as many prescription and over-the-counter anti-inflammatory medications for pain relief. It performs well even in head-to-head trials against some of the most popular medications for reducing joint tenderness and stiffness and improving joint function and mobility. How does it work? Well, the answer is that bromelain is anti-fibrotic. And what that means is that it breaks down fibrous scar tissue into smaller fragments so that the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, and the joints themselves can enjoy a greater range of motion. The presence of that tough, tenacious, fibrotic scar tissue is a major factor that causes restriction of blood flow, compression of nerves, and limitation of the joint range of motion. And bromelain dissolves that gristle and prevents new scar tissue from forming. As scar tissue is removed and replaced, your joints, your muscles, and your nerves free up and mobility is restored. That is the power of bromelain. And now we have arrived at the final step in our termite extermination, repair, and prevention protocol. And I think you're going to find this very interesting because this last piece doesn't actually affect the termites or the damage that they've done at all. But it makes every single one of the other ingredients in the formula work better. And it does this by increasing your body's ability to absorb them all. So the final ingredient is piperine, which is a highly absorbable plant extract derived from two types of plants, Piper longum and Piper nigrum. And here's how powerful it actually is. In one study, when researchers tested the blood levels of curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, alone versus combining it with piperine, after just 45 minutes of use, patients taking the combination had blood levels of curcumin that were 2,000% higher than those taking curcumin alone. But piperine doesn't only work with turmeric or curcumin. It increases your body's ability to utilize a wide variety of nutrients by enhancing the digestion, the absorption, and the metabolism of all of these herbs and nutrients. What this means is that adding piperine to the formula enhances the bioavailability of every ingredient to ensure that everything in the formula gets absorbed into your bloodstream so it can go to work on your pain. And it's really actually amazing to me that mainstream medicine has not caught on to this and continues to push toxic anti-inflammatory drugs as a solution. You can now hopefully understand why that is so short-sighted. Yes, inflammation is what causes the termite enzymes to become active. And yes, targeting that inflammation needs to be part of the solution. But once those termites are gnawing away at your cartilage, using drugs that just suppress the inflammation, it's too little, too late. And that is why anti-inflammatory drugs might make you feel better for a short while, but then it hurts again just as soon as that drug wears off. The only way to safely, effectively, and permanently exterminate your pain is to kill the termites, repair the damage they have done, and prevent them from ever coming back. And that is what these other ingredients do for you. So I had spent years studying and experimenting with every single ingredient at different ratios and different dosages, dialing in what worked best for my patients who were in pain. And in the early days, that meant meticulously sourcing individual raw materials and having my patients take handfuls of different capsules to get that formula right. And the formula was working beautifully. Honestly, it was delivering clinical success at rates far higher than anything I'd seen in the published medical literature. But it was challenging and it was expensive for my staff and for my patients to have to deal with little packets of multiple pills and powders every single day. That's when I decided to take the biggest risk of my professional career, and I decided to buy enough raw material of each one of those ingredients in my formula to fill up 30,000 capsules at once. And then I bought 500 empty bottles and I put 60 of those capsules in each bottle to be used as my first true test of my formula. Now that was about 5 years ago. And those 500 bottles went to people who had pain. People like Robert, whose lives had been ruined by back pain. People whose lives had been upended by pain in the neck or the shoulders, the hands, the hips, the knees, or the feet. People like you. So about a month after I distributed those first 500 bottles, the reports started trickling in. I'd like to read a few of these to you right now. So Louis F. wrote into me and said, I started taking them 10 days ago and I'm not having the pain in my knees that I was having. Not having to use a cane to walk with either. I'm amazed how much difference my knees feel. And then Diane said, it's been 2 weeks and I have definitely noticed a huge difference in my pain. I'm looking forward to it disappearing totally the longer I take it. Thank you, exclamation point. That trickle of notes picked up. There was Sandra, she wrote to me in all capital letters. Have only had it for 3 days. I think my knees already feel the difference. It's hard to believe this could happen in such a short time. And then Barbara, who had already had 2 hip surgeries and was still suffering in pain, she said, after a few days, I have finally found relief. Thank you. It was a flood of messages from people who were reporting sleeping better, having more energy, getting back to exercise, losing weight, all because their joints felt better. The reports that I was getting from these folks were staggering. And I knew right away that this was perhaps the single greatest achievement of my professional career. My formula was working wonders for even people with the most severe pain. This formula was delivering results even in cases of people with bone-on-bone pain. I was getting reports of significant improvements in pain and stiffness and range of motion that were above 90%, which is far higher than the results that I even expected, and certainly higher than anything that I had ever read about in all of my years of clinical study. So you can probably guess what I did next. I ordered 1,000 bottles worth, but this time I got a little bit fancier. For that bigger batch, which was 60,000 capsules worth, I gave the formula a name and a label that was worthy of the powerful formula that was inside. The powder that was inside those capsules was a beautiful golden color, and the stories that I was getting from the people who took it were stories of revival. And that is when I officially released Golden Revive Plus. Golden Revive Plus is an American-made, proven natural supplement that provides you with a second chance to live your life and finally enjoy the things that you've been missing out on. This is a completely unique formula that contains proven ingredients that are normally unattainable, which are needed to free yourself from that miserable joint pain. While most generic formulas currently out there on the market only target inflammation, my carefully chosen ingredients also target the real root cause of your joint pain, which is those termite enzymes that are eating away at your cartilage and the collagen inside your joints. Now, if you remember just one thing from this presentation, remember this. You will continue to suffer in pain unless you kill the termites that are destroying your joints, repair the damage they have done, and prevent them from ever coming back. Due to having had so many previous disappointments, almost all people with joint pain are understandably doubtful if this solution will work for them, especially the ones who are in severe pain. But what they found was that this goes against everything they've previously been told. And after giving Golden Revive Plus a try, this is what they've found. My name is Raphael B, and I suffered with inflammation in my right hip. After taking Golden Revive Plus daily for 1 week, I can tell you, in all caps, it works. I can climb up steps, I can walk my dog again, I can climb out of a chair without any assistance. Thank you. Larry A emailed in and he said, at last, lots of supplements on the internet, but Golden Revive Plus is the only one that relieved the inflammation in my knee. That is why I will continue to order it. And Carol M wrote to me to say, Golden Revive Plus works. I am usually skeptical about internet ads and claims. Over the years, I've found many products do not live up to their claims. However, after taking several doses, I noticed less inflammation and pain. I can now walk without a brace. This product does live up to its claim. Thank you. And I'm very confident that you too will be saying wonderful things just like that very soon. It's really easy to use Golden Revive Plus. Most people take just 2 capsules per day. You can take them anytime that's best for you. Most people find that taking them with their first meal of the day is ideal. And what you'll notice is that the effects of Golden Revive Plus come in 2 really distinct phases. First is immediate relief. Many people describe significant relief after just the first 2 or 3 doses. And then there's long-lasting change. The effects of Golden Revive Plus are cumulative. That is to say, they increase over time. So in order to get the best and most complete effects from Golden Revive Plus, you should take it for at least 60 days in a row. You see, even though it starts to work on day 1 and many people report relief right away, the longer that you take Golden Revive Plus, the more those nutrients and herbs build up in your bloodstream, the more they get delivered to the joints themselves, and then the better and the better they work. And that's an important piece because just like with a termite infestation, you want to make sure that you kill the termites, repair the damage they did, and prevent them from ever returning. And that is exactly what Golden Revive Plus can do for you. The connective tissues that are in your joints will continue to strengthen, and you will soon find yourself being able to do the things that your joints were previously preventing you from doing. And that's why I am so excited today and don't want you missing out on this ticket to free yourself from pain. Ultimately, for me, that's really what this is all about. Seeing the people who were once in your shoes email me notes and pictures of themselves out and about in the world, walking, playing with their grandkids, and even playing golf and out there gardening again. This is the reason why I wake up with a smile on my face every day and feel great about doing the work that I do. It really is my personal mission to continue to get Golden Revive Plus into the hands of as many people like you as possible. Because it really is truly special when you can start to do the things that you enjoy again. So please do not wait and lose out. Now is the time to try something totally new and different. You too can join the growing community of people who decided that enough was enough and they are now enjoying life how they are supposed to. It's really not your fault that you're in this position, and it's really sickening to me that natural, proven solutions like this one are kept hidden from you, and that's why I had to make the change and prove that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Golden Revive Plus has all of the proven, heavily researched and tested ingredients that are absolutely necessary to help free yourself from joint pain. When you take into consideration the price that you pay by continuing how you are now suffering with joint pain and how effective Golden Revive Plus continues to be for people just like you, a modest investment into your health and your freedom for just $97 would be reasonable. But as a viewer today and on this website only, I am offering you a 1-month supply of Golden Revive Plus for a huge discount. You see, I want to help as many people as possible live a healthy and pain-free life. And I know that a lot of people who need this product the most are often living on a fixed income. And I don't want financial or monetary concerns stopping you from getting the relief and living the life that you deserve. So for that reason, if you order today from this special page, you can get yourself a month's supply of Golden Revive Plus for a low investment of just $57. That breaks down to only $1.83 per day. And given the increase in demand, there is no guarantee that that price will be around forever. Word about Golden Revive Plus is spreading rapidly to the point where it's actually putting a huge demand on our ability to keep the product in stock. And I'm very grateful for that, but it does put a lot of stress on our manufacturing facility to keep up, especially with the supply chain disruptions that we've all become accustomed to in the last few years. And that's why most people choose to order a 3 or in many cases a 6-month supply to ensure that they do not miss out. And that's also why we decided to create a multi-bottle discount plan, which means that you can save even more money. You can stock up on a 3 or even a 6-month supply of Golden Revive Plus and save money and ensure that you never run out. I've even had people email me to say that they bought a 6-month supply and then gave a bottle or 2 to friends or family who have pain, and then those people pass along that generosity to another person, and that chain of kindness and the relief that comes with it just continues. That kind of word of mouth just spreads far and wide, and I just love hearing stories like that. So if you choose the 6-month supply, which is the best deal and the biggest savings, your investment will be only $33 per bottle. And that's a total savings of over $204 when you order today. Plus, all shipping and handling costs are completely free for you today as well. We are going to take care of all of that. And that's an additional value of $9.95, which you will be saving today. I give you my personal word that you will not find a better price on this offer anywhere on the internet. It's no use even looking around. Just click that button below right now. Like I said, I really want to help as many people as possible to overcome this miserable problem that I have seen just completely destroy people's lives. But remember, these special guaranteed lowest prices are guaranteed for today only or until we run out of stock before the end of the day, whichever of those comes first. So go ahead and click the button below right now, and on the next page, order the 6-month supply or whatever supply is best for you before it is too late. After choosing your package, you will be taken to a 100% secure and fully encrypted checkout page. Our site is protected and encrypted by premier cybersecurity technology to ensure 100% safety and security of your credit card information. This is the same technology that leading companies and many of the largest banks in the world are using right now. And once you've entered your payment information, our white glove quality control team will inspect and then promptly ship your Golden Revive Plus to your doorstep, and it will arrive within the next 4 to 7 days. Do not waste any more of your life being a prisoner to joint pain. You too can claim your life back just like so many of my patients have, along with thousands and thousands of other people. This is the smartest investment you could ever make for your health and your quality of life. You can finally say goodbye to joint pain and all of the problems that it brings. The weight gain, the continuous lingering pain, the depression, the anxiety, the social isolation, and all of the long-term health problems. By taking Golden Revive Plus day by day, you'll feel your pain disappear and you'll start to build and strengthen the connective tissues that are in and around your joints. But to avoid missing out, go ahead and click the button below right now to choose which Golden Revive Plus package you would like, and while they're all still in stock. Your investment today comes with a full 100% money back guarantee. We are so confident in the effectiveness of our product that we are willing to put all of the risk on us. Our 60-day money back guarantee states that either you are 100% satisfied or your money back in full. You can place your order knowing that nothing at all can go wrong. The worst case scenario, you give it a try and you don't see any results, which is very rare and almost unheard of, and we will refund you 100% of your money back, no questions asked. All you have to do is email our US-based 24/7 customer support team, and they will send you a full refund immediately. And in the best case scenario, you start taking Golden Revive Plus and you live the life you have always dreamed of without having to compromise on anything that you're already doing. The reason for this big guarantee is that I am so confident you will fall in love with this product and start reaping the rewards of living without pain and discomfort. Now remember, the amazing offer that you are getting on Golden Revive Plus is only available to you on this page built for today's presentation. And after that, this special offer will no longer be available and you will have to pay full price. It's time to make a decision that will shape your life. Option number one, You can ignore all the proof and the studies mentioned throughout this presentation and continue as you have been, living a life of frequent misery and discomfort. Or there's option number 2. You finally take control of your life and try this game-changing solution today. Get your supply of Golden Revive Plus now and see for yourself just how amazing it is living a healthy life without the burden of pain. No more pain and discomfort. No more feeling like a burden or a patient to your friends or your family. Now is the time to make a decision. Please don't ignore all of the proof that you've heard today and continue to be a prisoner to joint pain. A decision like that would only leave you in the exact same position, and it's clear that something needs to change. And remember, this offer is for today only. Your investment is protected by a risk-free money-back guarantee where there is absolutely no risk to you at all. Click that button below and enjoy a more pain-free life starting today. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation. I really look forward to helping you become pain-free. And I can't wait to hear your stories about your happiness and your success. You still there? Well, great. That means you probably have a question that I can answer. So here are a few of the most common questions that I get and my answers to them. Number 1, who is Golden Revive Plus for? Well, that's a great question, and the answer is simple. It's for men or women of any age who are looking for a safe, effective, natural solution for musculoskeletal pain. And number 2, what makes Golden Revive Plus different from the other products that I've tried before? Well, Golden Revive Plus is the only product in the world with this unique formulation that's designed to exterminate the joint-destroying, termite-like MMP enzymes, reverse the damage that they've done, and then prevent their return. This 6-ingredient formulation was developed and perfected by me, Dr. Joshua Levitt, based on thousands of hours of clinical research and over 20 years in clinical practice working directly with patients in pain. This formula has helped over 200,000 people and counting, and I'm very confident that it will help you too. Number 3, and I get this question a lot, is it safe to take if I am taking prescription medications or if I have another health problem? So here's the answer. All of the ingredients in Golden Revive Plus are generally recognized as safe and are very well tolerated. Now, that said, if you are taking prescription medication and are interested in trying Golden Revive Plus, your doctor or pharmacist should be willing to search a database for specific drug-herb interactions. You deserve that. Number 4, do I risk anything in trying Golden Revive Plus? Quite simply, no, you do not. You do not risk any money at all. You will receive a 100% full and immediate refund of every dime you paid if you are not thrilled with the benefits that you get from Golden Revive Plus. You have an ironclad 60-day money-back guarantee with no restrictions and no fine print. So do not wait and lose out. You must click that button below right now and choose your package because these special lowest ever guaranteed prices plus free shipping today are only guaranteed today only. And they may be gone in 10 minutes from now because it's only while our supply lasts. This special offer for Golden Revive Plus is not available on Amazon or any other website. It is only available on this page right here. So go ahead and do the smart thing and place your risk-free rush order right now. You will be very glad you did. And thank you again so much for watching this important presentation.
Scan now to get this exclusive offer.